Edition of the Bud 100 when Tim Weaver blew an engine in hot laps, then, in a great display of sportsmanship by Eldon King, was able to use one of Eldon's spare engines to power his way to the win after starting tail on the field. This year, Tim is one of 4 drivers in close contention for the late model points crown as he joins Rodney Art and Art Clark in the hunt for the number 1 spot currently held by Dave Heitzaus. Double points will be on the line tonight, so this race will not only be a competition for the win, but also for those valuable season-long points. All the late models will time trial. The fastest 6 will then redraw for the actual top 6 starting positions. The balance of the starting grid will be determined by a heads-up start based on qualifying heat results. Also on today's schedule, the second appearance of the season of the exciting Can-Am TQ Midgets. The mighty mites of motorsports, turning in lap times nearly as fast as the late models, will be competing in a full series of qualifying races and a main event. And also, the Pro Modifieds, the Chargers, Challengers, and the Figure 8 cars, double points will be up for grabs, an important night in all the regular Holland classes. All in all, it's shaping up to be just a great night of racing on this holiday weekend. So let's get going with today's activities and send you over to race control. The Challengers are on the Speedway for the first of 3 qualifying heats here at Holland Speedway tonight. 8 laps will be the distance and the way they're scheduled to start. Up in front on the pole in the Rucker Lumber Snapple Beverages, number 33 out of Ellicottville, it's Nicky Chapman. On the outside of Nicky in the Keith Sitko, number 25 from Portageville, Keith Nugent. Row number 2 to the inside in the Conweld, number 11 from Grand Island, John Gass Jr. On his outside, driving car number 8 out of West Seneca, John Carlson. Row number 3 in the Cam Collision, number 51 out of Buffalo, Bill Adamczyk. On his outside in car number 47 out of Farnham, it's Mike McDonald. Row number 4 on the outside lane in car number 68 from Buffalo, it's Rick Myers. And dropping down to the inside lane, driving the Blossom Feed Bar Shell number 14 out of Buffalo, Mike Flagg. 8 cars set to go 8 laps. The top 5 will qualify for a top 15 starting spot in the Challenger main event. Starter Doug Carnes has brought out that white flag, which means the next time around we're going to get this race underway. It'll be under green and we'll be racing. Nicky Chapman in the 33, Chad Nugent in the 25, John Gaston the 11, John Carlson in the 8, Bill Adamczyk in the 51, Mike McDonald in the 47, Mike Flagg in the 14, Rick Myers in the 68. The entry-level oval racing division here at Holland Speedway, the strictly stock Challengers. Nicky Chapman and Chad Nugent pick up the pace out of turn number 4. The green flag is out, and we are racing. It's Chad Nugent jumping out into the early lead in car number 25. Cars hooking up in turn number 2. John Carlson gets around. Mike Flagg just makes it by, has a little piece of the sheet metal in the front right corner of that car shaved off, and the caution flag is out. Carlson has righted his racer, but we have debris on the track as Mike Flagg, trying to sneak by the spinning John Carlson, had just a little piece of his car nicked off. And we'll bring the... Actually, it's the right rear of the number 14. You can see the rear sheet metal in that car number 14 hanging loose. So he's sneaking by the spinning number 8 of Carlson, and the Carlson car just nicked the rear right corner of the number 14 of Flagg, leaving a little piece of the sheet metal on the track. The safety crew going to retrieve it, and we'll gather them up 2 by 2 for a restart with 1 lap down, 7 remaining to be run in this first qualifying round for the entry-level Challengers. Chad Nugent in the 25, Nicky Chapman in the 33. Gather them up 2 by 2. For the restart, it will be Mike Flagg in the 14, Bill Adamczyk in the 51, Mike McDonald in the 47, Rick Myers in the 68, John Carlson in the 8, and John Gaston in the 11. As they pass under the white flag, the next time by will be under green and racing once again. All right, starter Doug Carnes has the green flag in his hands. He's looking over the field as they move into turns number 3 and 4. As they exit turn number 4, the green flag is out, and we are racing once again. Mike Flagg quick to make a move. He's by Nicky Chapman into second place and challenging Chad Nugent for the number 1 spot. Mike Flagg tucks onto the inside of Chad Nugent as they race into turn number 1. They're side by side as they exit turn number 2. Chad Nugent working the high groove. Mike Flagg working the inside lane. Flagg getting a little out of shape through turns 3 and 4, but he mashes the pedal to the metal, and out of 4, Mike Flagg edges out in front by about half a car length. Chad Nugent hanging onto that high groove, but loses the number 1 spot to Mike Flagg. Here comes Bill Adamczyk in car number 51. He moves to the inside of Chad Nugent in the race for second place. We're at the 4-lap mark. 4 down, 4 to go, indicated by the cross flags in the hands of starter Doug Carnes. Mike Flagg, your race leader in car number 14. Bill Adamczyk putting on the pressure in car number 51, currently in second. He'd like to make it currently in first, but Mike Flagg has other ideas. He holds off the challenges of Adamczyk that time by. Chad Nugent currently in third. John Gaston, the 11, and Mike McDonald in the 47 are side by side for positions 4 and 5. Flagg and Adamczyk racing wheel to wheel out of turn number 4. The parallel flags are showing we have 2 laps remaining in this qualifying run for the challengers. Flagg working the middle groove, Adamczyk working the low groove. They move down the back chute. Mike Flagg holds on to a 1 car length lead advantage. They'll be looking at the white flag this time by. 1 more to go in this challenger qualifying heat. John Carlson getting out of shape coming out of turn number 4, getting sideways right in front of starter Doug Carnes. John will try to get his racer straightened out. We'll try to get this one finished under green. Adamczyk making one final challenge to Mike Flagg. Here they come out of turn number 4, and it's going to be Flagg holding on for the win. Adamczyk is second. Gass finishes third. Nugent is fourth, and McDonald rounds out the top 5. Mike Flagg, despite having the rear of that car nicked on that opening lap spin by John Carlson, manages to drive to the front and hold off Bill Adamczyk's challenges over the last 4 laps to pick up the win in this first qualifying heat for the entry-level challengers. Mike, the nephew of many-time late model champion Dick Flagg here at Holland Speedway. Mike turning into a pretty good driver in his own right in car number 14. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Mike Flagg.
Well, as I look down in the bleacher area, I see our good friends from Fourscore are hard at work, and boy, a lot of people are taking advantage of that 10 for a $5 deal. I see Dennis Adolph just rolling out those tickets, $10 at a pop, or 10 tickets at a pop for $5. Jolene Scorup having a big sale on hers also as she heads toward turn 4, and Dennis on his way toward turn number 1. So let's really dig deep tonight and jump into those Fourscore. Should be a great jackpot tonight. It also will help get our driver's point fund up over the quarter-century mark.
Well, as he brings us back to victory lane for the victory photo, how about it, ladies and gentlemen? One more time, please. A Holland Speedway welcome for the driver of car number 14, Mike Flagg.
Well, kind of a tough night for Mike Flagg. It says for sale on the roof, and it says ripped to pieces down along the sponsors section there. So, you know, you got to make them pretty, dress them up pretty to try to sell them. And so the boys better get the welding torches out when he gets back to the pit area.
Well, moving on into the Speedway now, Larry, the qualifying event number 2 for the Challenger Division.
Challenger heat number 2 now on the Speedway, and starting in the pole position, it's car number 27, the driver James Botsenard. On the outside, car number 7 of Al Fisher. 57, Doug Evans is next. He's followed by the 79 of Johnny Granditz. Car number 6 of Zach Matuzak pulls into his starting position. Next in line is car number 10, Tommy Krozik. Following Krozik, it's the 43 of Jamie Havens, and alongside of Havens, car number 41 of Tiger Tom Reese. So that is your starting lineup for the second heat for the Challengers. Challenger heat number 2 about to get underway. The 27 machine, the pole car, James Botsenard out of Elma, New York. White flag coming out one more time around before they take the green. The 7 machine on the outside is Alan Fisher. The 57 of Doug Evans. 79 of Johnny Granditz. Zach Matuzak in car number 6. Tommy Krosick in car number 10. Then the 43 of Jamie Havens and the 41 of Tom Reese. So that is your starting lineup. Heat number 2 for the challengers. Well, Rick, they say so goes the first heat, so goes the night, and we had a real good first heat. We had photo finishes almost for first and second, and also for third, fourth, and fifth. So hopefully that'll be an indication of good, tight racing action all evening. The field moving out of that 4th turn onto the main straightaway. Chief starter Doug Carnes waves the green flag, and they swing into turn number 1 as heat number 2 gets underway. Down on the inside, Botsenart holds that pole position with the lead, car number 27, but 3 wide for second as they head for turn 3. 3 abreast, working their way through turn number 3 and 4, onto the main straightaway. Botsenart still with the lead, side by side for second, between the 57 car of Doug Evans down on the inside and the 79 up on the outside with Johnny Granditz at the wheel. Granditz now moves into the 2nd spot. Evans back to 3rd, and they're side by side for 4th as Tom Krosick starts to move up through the pack in 10 as the 7 car, Al Fisher, goes way wide coming out of turn 4. Out of the number 2 turn, a battle shaping up for the lead as they head down the back straightaway and toward turn number 3 and 4. On the inside, it's Granditz. On the outside, it's Botsenart as they go door handle to door handle out of that 4th turn, and here comes Tommy Krosick. Krosick has car number 10 on the move, and he comes up to join the leaders to make it a 3-car battle for the lead. Doug Evans back in the 4th spot in 57. Evans right in there, ready to pounce should any of these first 3 cars make a miscue, but they're side by side for the lead. Out of the 4th turn, give the nod to Granditz that time by. Granditz with the lead at the halfway point, about a 2-foot margin. Down on the inside, it's Johnny Granditz with the lead. Way up high, car number 27 running in the 2nd spot. Jimmy Botsenart. Tommy Krosick has a notion to take it right up the middle. Rolls out of the throttle. Holds position, tries to take it low to the inside. Down the main straightaway into turn number 1 and 2. Side by side, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, out of that number 2 turn, down the back straightaway. The 79 of Granditz with the lead. Here comes Krosick. Krosick gets up to the outside, and we've got a smoking right rear tire on that car number 7. Looks like there might be a little traction problem getting through the turn over there. I saw moisture look like coming off the back of that number 7 car, the McDonald's machine. Here is your leader on the main straightaway, car number 79, Jimmy Botsenart. Or rather, John Granditz. Granditz with the lead, car number 79. Granditz up in front. Botsenart back in the 2nd spot, car number 27. Now being challenged again by the 10 of Tommy Krosick. Krosick up high. Botsenart low. Through turn number 3 and 4, they head for the checkered flag. First man in, Johnny Granditz. Second, it's the 27 of Botsenart. Third man home, Tommy Krosick, car number 10. And the 57 of Doug Evans is the 4th car over the line.
Well, John Granditz is currently 3rd in the McGard Wheelock's Rookie of the Year Challenge points in this Challenger division, and he showed why he's the 3rd-ranked rookie right now and with a chance to win the Rookie of the Year award with a fine run in that heat race, Larry.
Fine run in the heat race, and he's back in front of the stands. How about a good round of applause for the driver, number 79, John Granditz.
Something also for the fans to keep in mind, you saw Tommy Krosick who finished 3rd in that qualifying heat. Going into tonight's racing activities, Tom Krosick holds a 4-point lead over Mike McDonald, who drove that blue and white number 47 in the first heat. There are double points on the line tonight, which means that per position there's a 4-point decrease. So these challengers are running for double points, as are all 5 of the regular Holland Speedway divisions tonight, and that means your lead difference between 1st and 2nd place in the Challenger point standings is exactly the differential in points you find in one position in the main event. So tonight's feature race is going to go a long way in determining the final outcome in the Challenger Points Championship.
Here's the winner of heat number 2 back in front of us, and a good round of applause last time around, but let's try it again for the driver of 79, John Granditz. Auto Electric, the sponsor on Johnny Granditz 74 Chevy, car number 79.
And now moving onto the track, The third and final qualifying heat for the entry-level Challenger division. 8 laps will be the distance, and the way they are scheduled to start. Up in front, in that yellow, number 71, the Convenient Food Mart sponsored ride of Jim Bansmer out of East Aurora. On his outside in the Arcade Jewelers, number 23, that's Brian Collar out of Delavan. Row number 2, to the inside of that lane, it looks like it's going to be the Price Trucking number 89 of Jeff Price. On his outside in the Slippy's Collision, number 01, out of Springville, Chris Slippy. Row number 3 on the inside in the Brooks Rigging, number 65. From Hamburg, that's Smilin' Ed Kaczynski. On his outside in the Kling Brothers, number 95, out of Lancaster, Brian Weisenberg. Row number 4 on the inside, piloting car number 1 out of Delavan, Pete Fisher. On his outside in the Andersons Towing, number 4 out of Elma, Anton Anderson Jr. And the last car in the starting grid, 9 cars scheduled to start, and starting 9th in the Jerry Gradle Motors, number 20 from Williamsville, Jerry Gradle Jr. 9 cars set to go 8 laps in the third and final round of qualifying for the entry-level challengers. Bansmer in the 71 and Collar in the 23 will lead the field down as we anticipate a starting green flag this time by. They'll pick up the pace out of turn number 4. Starter Doug Carnes looks them over. They get the green flag, and we are racing! On the break, Collar took a slight lead into turn number 1, but Bansmer in the 71 leads them out of turn number 2. They're side by side down the back chute into turn number 3. Jeff Price getting out of shape, and car number 89 makes some contact with Ed Kaczynski in the 65. And Price nursing and ailing number 89 into the infield grass. You can see the right front tire is well out of position. It looks like an A-frame may be broken on the number 89 of Jeff Price. The caution flag is out as Jeff Price having his troubles on the first lap in this qualifying heat. Jeff's the younger brother of John Price, who was the 1993 champion in this division. So we are under caution as Jeff Price's number 89 is going up on the hook right now. So we have Brian Collar in the 23, Jim Bansmer in the 71, Chris Slippy in the 01, Brian Weisenberg in the 95, Pete Fisher in the 1, Jerry Gradle Jr. in the 20, Ed Kaczynski in the 65, and Anton Anderson Jr. in car number 4, remaining on the Speedway. As we were telling you a little bit earlier, John Spores and the Team Shelter late model number 0 sponsored the Team Shelter Lap Challenge to benefit the Western New York Food Bank, and it's been a grand success. There have been $1,230 in pledges called into the food bank. John and Team Shelter would like to thank all the fans who called and pledged their money to benefit the Western New York Food Bank, and to all who help keep the drive alive. And if you want to visit John when the racing program is done tonight in the pit area and you're interested in wondering how you can help out the Western New York Food Bank, John will be more than happy to tell you what you can do to help out the food bank, a great way for racing people to help those less fortunate here in Western New York. The 89 of Jeff Price on the hook. And the Price crew will be going to work on that car to get it repaired in time for their double point feature event later this evening.
Just saw a young man walk by with a full box of pizza, and that reminds me that the nice young ladies back in the pizza stand asked me to be sure to remind you that they got an early start tonight on getting those pizzas ready. They said a little feel of fall in the air. Should be a great night to sink your hands into a nice hot cheese and pepperoni pizza, and they've got them at the Holland Speedway pizza stand.
Well, Doug Carnes is bringing out the white flag, so we've gathered up the cars 2 by 2 for the restart, and we're going to get a restart green the next time around. We have 2 laps completed, 6 laps remain to be run under green in this third and final qualifying heat for the Challengers. Next up will be the first of 3 qualifying events for the NASCAR Chargers, the intermediate full-body division, the super stock style of racing here at Holland Speedway. Right now, the strictly stock Challengers set to go back at it for 6 more laps of qualifying heat action. Jim Bansmer in the 71 and Brian Collar in the 23 will lead them through turns 3 and 4 as we anticipate a restart green this time by. Here they come, 2 by 2. Doug Carnes looking them over, and the green flag is on, and we are racing once again. On the break, that's Brian Collar jumping out into the lead in car number 23. Brian Weisenberg in the 95 pulls to the outside of the Bansmer 71 to move into second place. Jerry Gradle Jr. wasting no time. His original starting spot was dead last in the 9-car field. He's up in 4th and challenging for the number 3 spot in car number 20. Collar, your race leader in the 23. Weisenberg in the 95 is second. Here comes Jerry Gradle Jr. He's to the outside of Jim Bansmer. Gradle now up in 3rd place. A little contact. It looks like their bumpers may have locked up there in turn number 4, but they get a little helpful bump from Chris Slippy that breaks him up nicely, and Gradle continues on in 3rd place. Slippy drives on by to grab 4th in the 0-1. Brian Weisenberg and Brian Collar going at it for spots 1 and 2. Collar out in front in the 23. Weisenberg in second in the 95. And here comes Jerry Gradle in the 20, looking to make it a 3-way race for the top spot. Collar leading the field into turn number 3. He swings out of turn number 4. He'll be looking at the parallel flags this time around. 6 down, 2 to go. Jerry Gradle Jr. takes the number 20 down to the inside, but Weisenberg slams the door shut, and at the same time makes a move to the inside of the Brian Collar, number 23. The rear end of the Collar car kicking out of turn number 3 and 4. Weisenberg takes advantage of the situation, ducks down to the inside, making the pass on Brian Collar as they pass under the white flag. We're in the final go-round in this Challenger qualifying event. Brian Weisenberg has now appropriated the lead. Here comes Jerry Gradle Jr. in car number 20. He makes a move down to the inside of Brian Collar. We're looking at the checkers. This time by, it's going to be Weisenberg with the victory. Gradle is second. Collar takes third. Kaczynski is fourth. Slippy rounds out the top 5 in car number 0-1. A fine drive by Brian Weisenberg in car number 95 to hold off Jerry Gradle Jr. and move on by Brian Collar in the late going to grab the victory in this third and final qualifying run for the entry-level Challenger division. Gradle finishing second, Collar taking third, Kaczynski fourth, and Chris Slippy finishing in 5th. As he moves out of turn number 4 to pick up the checkered flag from junior starter Jerry Toms for his victory lap, please put your hands together for the driver of car number 95, Brian Weisenberg. Well, as we indicated, the Challengers will be running for double points in their features tonight and again in 2 weeks. On September 17th, when we run our final show of the 1994 season at Holland Speedway, 2 weeks from tonight, it will be the Challengers running their double point season championship race, the Figure 8 cars running their double point season championship race, and the 5th and final round of enduro racing action. That will be 2 weeks from tonight, September 17th, the final Saturday night of racing, the final date on the 1994 calendar at Holland Speedway. Of course, this coming Monday, it'll be round 4 of the Kendall Oil Enduro Challenge, along with Figure 8 Racing. That's this coming Labor Day Monday, September the 5th. Race time is 6 o'clock. Next Saturday night, it'll be double point season championship night for the late models, the Pro Modifieds, and the Chargers. The Challengers and Figure 8s will run a regular points event. That's next Saturday. Right now, in victory lane, the winner of qualifying heat number 3 in the Kling Brothers, number 95. Put your hands together one more time for Brian Weisenberg.